Have you ever wondered why Japanese culture is so unique and diverse? Just like a beautifully woven tapestry, the culture of Japan is a complex interplay of patterns, colors, and threads, each drawing from different sources, yet contributing to a singular, harmonious whole. This rich tapestry of culture is not the result of mere happenstance. Rather, it's the outcome of thousands of years of evolution, intermingling of ideas, and the fusion of indigenous and external influences. Let's start by acknowledging the fact that the Japanese culture, like any other, didn't evolve in isolation. The island nation of Japan, despite its geographic seclusion, has been a melting pot of ideas and influences from the very start. The indigenous Jomon culture, dating back to around 14,000 years ago, laid the foundation, but that was just the beginning. Over the centuries, waves of cultural influences washed upon the shores of Japan, each leaving an indelible mark. Predominantly, these influences came from the neighboring lands of China and Korea. From the intricate art of calligraphy to the philosophical underpinnings of Buddhism and Confucianism, these foreign elements were absorbed, adapted, and eventually became an intrinsic part of the Japanese cultural fabric. But the uniqueness of Japanese culture doesn't just lie in its ability to absorb. It's in the way it assimilates, adapts, and transforms these influences into something distinctively Japanese. The result is a culture that's at once familiar yet strikingly different. A culture that's a perfect blend of the old and the new, the indigenous and the foreign. So whether it's the serene beauty of a Zen garden, the elaborate ritual of a tea ceremony, or the vibrant spectacle of a Matsuri festival, each facet of Japanese culture carries within it a hint of its ancient roots and a touch of foreign influence combined in a way that's uniquely Japanese. Now let's delve into the past and see how this fascinating culture evolved over the centuries. Our journey begins in the Jomon period, a time of hunter-gatherers and pottery. This era, dating from around 14,000 to 300 BC, was a time when Japan was inhabited by a nomadic people who lived off the land. They hunted, fished, and gathered plants for food, and they also created some of the world's earliest known pottery. The Jomon period is named after this distinctive pottery, marked by rope-like patterns. This period gave birth to a rich culture, characterized by a deep respect for nature and a profound connection to the spiritual world. These early beliefs and practices laid the groundwork for the unique blend of Shintoism and Buddhism that is still prevalent in Japan today. As we move forward in time, we come to the Yayoi period starting around 300 BC. This era marked a significant shift in Japanese society, brought about by the introduction of wet rice farming from the Asian mainland. With the advent of agriculture, people began to settle in communities, giving up their nomadic ways. The cultivation of rice required cooperation and coordination among community members, leading to the development of a more complex social structure. As people began to work together, they also started to develop shared beliefs and rituals, many of which were centered around the cycles of nature and the seasons, reflecting their agricultural lifestyle. The Yayoi period also saw the emergence of new religious beliefs, influenced by the spiritual traditions of the Asian mainland. These beliefs were intertwined with the existing animistic practices, creating a unique blend of spirituality that continues to shape Japanese culture today. So, in essence, the ancient beginnings of Japanese culture were characterized by a deep respect for nature and a strong sense of community, shaped by the necessities of survival and the rhythms of the natural world. And it was the shift from a hunter-gatherer society to an agricultural one that led to the development of a more complex society and the emergence of new religious beliefs. This agricultural revolution led to the establishment of a more complex society and the emergence of new religious beliefs. This is where our journey through the ancient beginnings of Japanese culture and religion ends, and the next chapter of our story begins. In the 6th century AD, Buddhism and Confucianism arrived from China, reshaping Japanese society and beliefs. This was a pivotal moment in Japanese history, as these two philosophies introduced new ways of thinking and living, having a profound impact on the cultural and religious landscape. Buddhism, with its teachings of compassion, karma, and the cycle of death and rebirth, provided the Japanese a perspective on life and death that was different from their existing beliefs. It introduced the idea of attaining enlightenment through meditation and ethical living. These teachings were quickly embraced, and Buddhist temples began to dot the landscape, becoming centers of learning and culture. Meanwhile, Confucianism brought a new focus on social ethics, family loyalty, and respect for elders. This philosophy, with its emphasis on harmony and order, resonated deeply within the Japanese society. It influenced their social structure, creating a hierarchy where respect and obedience to those above were paramount. This can still be seen today in the strong sense of duty and respect for authority that permeates Japanese society. Parallel to these foreign influences, the indigenous religion of Shintoism continued to thrive. Shintoism's reverence for nature and ancestors found common ground with Buddhism's respect for all life and Confucianism's emphasis on family ties. The three beliefs coexisted and even intertwined, creating a unique blend that is distinctly Japanese. This interweaving of beliefs is a testament to the Japanese ability to adapt and synthesize foreign ideas while maintaining their own cultural identity. Even today, the influence of Buddhism, Confucianism, and Shintoism can be seen in everyday Japanese life. From the serene Zen gardens and Shinto shrines that dot the country, to the deep respect for elders and the rituals performed to honor ancestors, these three philosophies have left an indelible mark. In essence, Buddhism, Confucianism, and Shintoism have shaped the Japanese worldview, influencing their art, literature, philosophy, and way of life. They have provided the Japanese with a unique perspective on life, death, and the universe that continues to guide them even in the modern world. These religious beliefs continue to play a significant role in Japanese society. Fast forward to the Meiji period when Japan opened its doors to the West. This marked a significant shift in Japanese culture as the country began to embrace Western ideas and influences. Imagine a country steeped in centuries-old traditions and beliefs, suddenly opening up to a whole new world of ideas. The Meiji period, which began in the late 19th century, was a time of great cultural exchange. Japan, with its feudal samurai traditions, met the industrialized world head-on, and the result was nothing short of a cultural revolution. Western-style institutions, including schools and government structures, were established. English was introduced into the education system, and Western-style clothing became popular. It was during this time that baseball, a sport deeply rooted in American culture, was introduced to Japan and has since become one of the country's most popular sports. Then came World War II, another critical juncture in Japanese history. The war had a profound impact on Japan, not only in terms of destruction, but also in shaping its cultural landscape. The post-war period saw an even greater surge of American influence. Hollywood movies, jazz music, and fast food chains started to make their mark on Japanese society. But it wasn't just a one-way street. Japan absorbed these influences and made them its own. Take, for example, the Japanese love for jazz music, which has led to the creation of a unique genre known as J-Jazz, or the way Japan has transformed the fast food industry, with sushi chains and ramen joints becoming global phenomena. In the midst of this cultural exchange, Japan has never lost sight of its roots. Traditional arts like tea ceremonies, ikebana, and kabuki theater continue to thrive, standing as proud reminders of the country's rich heritage. In the end, the story of modern Japan is a tale of balance. It's about embracing the new without forgetting the old. It's about learning from others while staying true to oneself. It is this delicate balance that has allowed Japan to evolve, yet stay unmistakably Japanese. In spite of these foreign influences, Japan has managed to retain its unique cultural identity. Today, Japan is a blend of traditional and modern, evident in its culture and religious practices. In the heart of this East Asian nation, the old and new intertwine, creating a unique tapestry of contemporary Japanese culture. Modern skyscrapers stand shoulder to shoulder with ancient temples, while cutting-edge technology coexists with centuries-old traditions, reflecting the seamless fusion of the past and future in everyday Japanese life. On one hand, you have the hustle and bustle of urban life. The neon lights of Tokyo, the futuristic technology, anime, and manga that have taken the world by storm. On the other, you have the tranquil tea ceremonies, the delicate art of ikebana, and the graceful movements of kabuki theater that continue to hold a cherished place in Japanese society. This fascinating juxtaposition extends to religion as well. Shinto, the indigenous faith of Japan, remains deeply embedded in Japanese consciousness, influencing their attitudes towards nature, spirituality, and life itself. It's not uncommon to find Shinto shrines nestled amidst the urban landscape, a testament to the enduring presence of this ancient belief system. Parallel to Shinto, Buddhism also continues to play a significant role in shaping Japanese life. Rooted in the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, Buddhism arrived in Japan in the 6th century and has since intertwined with Shinto to form a unique spiritual landscape. It serves as a guide for moral conduct, provides comfort in times of grief, and influences many of the country's festivals and rituals. In contemporary Japan, it's not unusual for individuals to follow both Shinto and Buddhist practices. A Japanese person may celebrate a birth at a Shinto shrine, marry in a Christian-style ceremony, and conduct a Buddhist funeral. Such is the fluidity of religious practice in Japan. Indeed, the richness of Japanese culture stems from its ability to absorb foreign influences while preserving its own traditions. This harmonious blend of the ancient and modern, the local and the global, is what makes Japan's cultural and religious landscape so compelling and unique. So, what have we learned about Japanese culture and religion? We've journeyed from the mystique of ancient traditions through the profound impact of Buddhism and Confucianism to the modern influences shaping Japan today. We've seen how contemporary Japanese culture and religion continue to evolve, yet remain deeply rooted in a rich historical tapestry. In the end, the beauty of Japanese culture lies in its complexity and diversity, a testament to its rich history and resilient spirit.